What's going on, guys? So today we're talking about the Sig MCX. Here we have the Gen 1 and here we have the Gen 2. So what we're going to do in this video is just do a side-by-side comparison. We're going to try and stay unbiased. And we're just going to kind of take you through the differences of each gun, Gen 1, Gen 2. I want to first start off by giving a shout out to my friend Shane for letting me borrow his Gen 2 for this video. I will say they're both really great guns. I would encourage you to get either one of them. They both operate awesome. The trigger that comes in the MCX Gen 2 is much nicer than the one that comes in the Gen 1. The Gen 1 comes with a standard M4 AR trigger. It's like 6 to 8 pounds. It kind of sucked. The Gen 2 comes with a nice Sig MCX Duo trigger, which is a 2-stage trigger. However, I put the Geisley MCX trigger in the Gen 1, and it definitely blows the Gen 2's trigger away. The Geisley trigger is definitely the top tier trigger that you can get for these. So I would encourage either purchase to get the Geisley trigger, whether you have the Gen 1 or the Gen 2. So you'll also notice the color difference. Sig made the Gen 2s in gray. They made the Gen 1s in black. Obviously, you can Cerakote them to your preferred color. That's up to you. You'll also notice the handguard here is 3 to 4 inches longer on the Gen 2 versus the Gen 1. And you can't tell in the video, but I will try to show you a little bit later. When you press on these handguards and you hold these handguards off of the gun, you'll notice that this one's definitely a little bit heavier, a little bit more durable. This is a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter. It was interesting. It kind of shocked me. I just noticed this for the first time a few minutes ago. But anyways, moving on. The pistol grips, you'll notice, now they feel pretty similar, but you'll notice a little difference in them, and that being that the Gen 1 can sit kind of flat. The Gen 2 doesn't really sit flat. When you put your hand on these, like I said, I've shot both of these a bunch, and I honest to God didn't even notice the difference at first. That's how minuscule it is. But because your hand fits on it, and again, your hand fits on it, and it feels good, it fits good, the palm feels good. I don't honestly even notice a difference in these. I will tell you though, picking these up like this, I do feel a significant weight difference. So we'll turn that on in a second here, let that zero out. In the meantime, we'll talk about the stocks. So the Gen 1 comes with this really cool skeleton stock. The Gen 2 comes with this stock from Magpul. This is the MOE SL TAC K stock from Magpul. It's nice. They're both collapsible. And when they are collapsed, you have full use of all your controls here. It doesn't prohibit you from doing anything. That's the Gen 2. The Gen 1, same thing. Doesn't prohibit you from using any of your controls, and it collapses as well. Personally, I love this stock. I think it's awesome. It fits great, feels great. I like how thin it is. I don't personally like the thicker stocks. As you come up and you try to put it into that pocket shoulder, it just fits really nice. I'm a huge fan of it. I've been trying to get him to buy one for a little while now. They're about $200. So maybe eventually he will, because you'll also notice this one on the bottom here, let me point it out here, you have a QD attachment for your sling. So how I run my sling is I'm a right-handed shooter. So I put my sling on this side and I wrap it around and I attach it at the front. And what that does is it allows me to transition from right to left, left to right, without the sling getting caught up around my neck because it's here, so it wraps around. Now the Gen 2, you don't have any QD mounts on your stock for your sling, so you have to put it here and here, or you can get a QD attachment for it. But if you have it here and you try to come from this side and switch to your left, well, now that sling is trying to wrap around through here, and it's extremely uncomfortable. So I definitely think that the skeletonized stock that they came out with originally is better, and this is also really nice because they have two of these. The other one is just flat right here. It doesn't have this nice little cheek bump. That cheek bump makes a world of a difference, honestly, because it's much more in line with the top rail. So as you come up, it just feels much better than when it's a little bit lower. So just be mindful of that if you are looking into these. The cheek bump one is definitely the better one, in my personal opinion, obviously. So that's about it for the externals, minus the handguards here, but we're going to take these off and we're going to weigh them, and we'll talk about a little difference on the handguards themselves. You'll notice the Gen 2 uses M-Lock and the Gen 1 uses key mod. M-lock is obviously kind of the way the industry is moving now. I'll see if, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but as you press on these, you can kind of get a little movement on that. You can't get any movement here. I mean, you got to really put something on that in order to get that to flex. This one will flex a little bit. Putting these on the scale, Gen 1, oh, it just turned off as I did that, of course. Let it zero out. All right, so the Gen 2 handguard, 13.9 ounces, so just about 14 ounces. The Gen 1 handguard, 7.1 ounces, so you got about a 5 ounce difference there. And you could definitely feel it. It's 5 ounces, so you can imagine how much you feel it. And this it just feels sturdier. Like I said, you cannot squeeze that in. This you can kind of move around. Personal preference, I would like this one better. I like that it's lighter. Let's throw the guns on the scale now without the handguards, and we'll put the handguards on and we'll see how much it is. So the Gen 1 is 6 pounds, 3.8 ounces. The Gen 2, 6 pounds, 13.8 ounces. 6 pounds, 13.8 ounces, and this was 6 pounds, 3 ounces. So you got about 10 ounce difference there between the two. So now we'll add the handguard in, and that's going to add it's going to be about a pound difference altogether now, because remember that handguard was 5 ounces. So these are always kind of a pain in the ass to put back on. There you go. You can feel just how much lighter this Gen 1 handguard is. But again, lighter, it's a little bit cheaper, so we'll see what the total is here. So the Gen 1, 6 pounds, 11.0, 6 pounds, 11 ounces on the dot. Gen 2, 7 pounds, 12 ounces on the dot. Yeah, 7 pounds, so 6 pounds, 11 ounces, 7 pounds, 12 ounces on the dot. So it's about a 1 pound and 1 ounce difference in weight, and you can certainly feel it as you have them up in your hands. Holding them like any way, really, you can feel that pound difference. Not a ton. That wouldn't deter me from buying the Gen 2. Like I said, I think it's a really nice weapon as well. Comparing it to the other guns in the same kind of tier, the Daniel Defense, all that, it's a little bit heavier, but the operating system is really nice on it. So let's take out the bolt and show you the differences in the bolt carrier groups. This is newer, so it might come. Oh, came right out. Nice. All right, so bolt carrier groups look pretty similar to the naked eye. However, as you get into them a little bit more, so to take this bolt out of the carrier, you have to remove the cam pin up here. Now, as you'll notice, this doesn't move. It's kind of annoying. I've done it a few times. That's how you get to your firing pin and all that. Gen 2 opens up, so you have a little bit more room to play with that cam pin there. I do think that is a nice upgrade. You'll also notice on the back here, Gen 2 has a little firing pin lock, and if you are to take out the firing pins, you'll notice the Gen 2 has a firing pin spring on it, and that just kind of, the Gen 1 originally had a couple issues in the 300 blackout version where they were bump firing. Bump fire is basically if you were to take this thing and slam it, it could go off. So that's why they put that safety lock in there and why they put the spring on the pin. It makes it so the trigger really has to hit it in order for it to go off. It was mostly in the 300 blackout version, but they did a recall on all of them. So we'll put these back now. Actually, one more thing I want to show you. This is really the last difference on these guns as far as I'm concerned, and that is the piston. So you'll notice how short the piston is on the Gen 1. So now if you come over here, the Gen 2, That's in there. You'll notice how long the piston is. So again, that's adding a little bit of extra weight. It is a little bit thinner, but that's got to add a little bit more weight to it because like we said, we got a 1 pound and 1 ounce difference between the guns, the Gen 2 being heavier of the two. Overall, if you were asking my personal opinion, and it's not just because I have it, but I would say the Gen 1 is a little bit nicer. I like that it's lighter. The trigger that comes with it sucks, but once you put the Geisley trigger in it, it's an incredible gun. I like the shorter handguard. I like that the handguard's lighter. The key mod could go. I could use an M-Lock key mod. That would be nice. The stock that it comes with is much nicer. Again, you could always buy the stock for this one, right? Like it's literally just this screw. If I was to take this screw out of here and here, I could put this stock on this gun and that would solve your problem. But when you're paying $2,200 for a gun, you want it to come how you like it. So to spend another $200, now you're at $24 just to get a stock that you like. Hey, that's what you do. This isn't a cheap man's hobby, so if you like it, that's what you do. But I would personally prefer the Gen 1 over it. Again, the color of it, the stock, the trigger. Obviously, the Gen 2 wins. M-Lock, Gen 2 wins. But so I guess for the stock trade, right? This is a $200 handguard. So if you wanted to buy the M-Lock version of this, that's $200. Or you could buy the $200 stock for this. I would personally put the Geisley trigger in either of these, no matter which one I bought. Like I said, it absolutely blows this trigger away. It's phenomenal. Overall, though, it really comes down to, I believe, the weight. That pound and an ounce is a big difference. That is a pretty big difference going from 7 pounds and I forget what it was, 7 pounds and like 11 ounces versus 6 pounds, 10 ounces. You definitely feel it. But again, this handguard's a lot sturdier, so if that's something that you're into, then hey, the Gen 2 is for you. But overall, that's all we have on these two guns here. So let me know what you think, which one you would prefer, and don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. Thanks, guys.